In 1971, one monumental decision changed your money forever, and you are still paying the heavy price today. And the worst part? You never even noticed. You did everything right. You worked hard your whole life and carefully saved your money. You look at the balance of your savings and then at the cost of basic utilities and healthcare. The math that worked for your parents doesn't seem to work for you. But somehow, no matter what you do, it is simply never enough. The price of bread, rent, and education has climbed at a rate that outpaces your annual raises. Buying a home has shifted from a standard milestone to a nearly impossible financial hurdle for most. It genuinely feels like the more you produce day in and day out, the less that production actually buys you. But what if this wasn't your fault? To understand why, we have to look at a specific policy shift. In the year 1971, a fundamental rule of money changed, quietly. Before this moment, the US dollar was a commodity-backed currency. Each bill was effectively a legal claim on a specific amount of gold stored in government vaults. The supply of money was limited by the amount of metal the country actually held. This meant that for every dollar in circulation, there was physical evidence of its value sitting in a vault. In August 1971, that connection was severed. The US government ended the convertibility of the dollar into gold, transforming the currency into a floating instrument of credit backed only by a promise. This removed the physical ceiling on the economy. Money was no longer a scarce commodity. It became something the government could expand at will. Without the gold anchor, the dollar transitioned from a store of value into a tool for debt. Because it was no longer tied to a finite resource, the supply of money could be increased to meet any political or institutional need. No one talked about it. The printing didn't just happen once to solve a crisis. It became the primary engine of the economy. For decades, trillions of new dollars have entered the system to fund government spending and bank bailouts. Simple logic dictates that when you flood a market with more of anything, the individual value of that thing drops. As the total supply of dollars expands, the purchasing power of each dollar you already earned is diluted. No one explained what it really meant. This shift meant that the incentives for wealth building were reversed. Holding on to cash became a massive liability, while borrowing massive amounts of the expanding currency became the primary way to gain an advantage. Today, we see the results of that expansion. When the money supply grows faster than the productivity of the workforce, the gap between wages and prices isn't a mistake. It is the inevitable result of a currency that loses value by its very nature. This was the moment. Everything changed. But the real impact? You're living it today. The struggle to keep up with inflation isn't due to a lack of effort. It's because the savings you were told to trust are being intentionally devalued to service the debts of the system. The rules of money were rewritten in 1971. Most people are still playing by the old rules, destined to lose. But a small few realized that in a world of